Hello, and today we'll continue with the news update of Specimen 29. I'm not going to reveal everything that happened in the last video, but the MC and Vass landed on this planet, and they were able to get off the ship, and the MC was able to go about looking at the city, and it reminded him of New York City, with all the skyscrapers, plus there being a big park in the city, and apparently someone who was responsible for him being trapped on 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 the ship for 3 years was in this city, I think, or at least somebody who worked on the program was in this city, and they had part of him being trapped on a spaceship for 3 years. So if you haven't watched the last video, you should go watch it. But I'm gonna go ahead and continue with the news update. We pass through the worrying lack of security and make it to the ship where Sahira is waiting for us at the top of the ramp. She ushers us all inside. You boys go out for a few hours and already get yourself into trouble. What the fuck is wrong with you both? What part of low profile do you not understand, Vass? Well, you kids have fun. I gotta go back to finish where I started. Nope, you stay here on the ship. For fuck's sake. What the fuck do you mean you raided one of their labs and got knocked out? Precisely that. I mean, I'm okay. Thank you for asking. I don't give a fuck. Noah, are you okay? I'm fine. Oh, good. So Vass's bad judgment didn't get you hurt at all. Hey. Yeah, the guy that tried to take me is currently lying on the floor and missing everything above his chest. She stops passing up Vass for just a moment to look at me. Pardon? I didn't whip him apart or anything. I threw acid at him. And what part of your body does the acid come from? Not from me. Bottles of the stuff in the lab we were in. You both astound me. And actually, it was my idea. She is quiet for a few moments. Why? It seemed like a good idea at the time. Oh, for fuck's sake, both of you are idiots. Anyway, we have a few things you might want to see. She is quiet for a few moments. What did you find? The name of the guy who ran the project, all the information stored on the site, and another specimen. What? Did you find another human? Oh no, this is way better, I'm sure. You have a weird and fucked up set of priorities. I know. Speaking of which, what is in the crate? Or what is in the crate? I get up from the chair I was sitting in and walk over to the crate on her desk. Let's see, shall we? I crack open the lock on the cage, letting the door drop open. I stare at it in wonder for just a few moments before hearing some gentle purring coming from inside. The purring grows a bit louder until a furry little creature, which I can only describe as a tiger cub, comes strolling out. Well, fuck. Well, fuck. Do you know what species this creature is? This is a tiger, a baby, but still. Noted. Can you check and see if they put any implants into the tiger? A quick scan of the creature shows that the infant was only given vaccines. However, it was scheduled for experimentation. I see. I'm guessing this was born off Earth then? Yes, the data we collected shows that an original set of tigers was captured at the same time as you were, and this is an offspring. One of the parents is now deceased, the other was held on a different site. I take the cover to my arms, causing it to wiggle and fidget. I have no idea how I'm going to deal with this thing at all. How do you even handle this kind of thing? The little thing starts to turn and starts to turn and stretch before nuzzling up against me. I suppose that something, at least it isn't attacking me. I start to stroke the cute little fucker. It pulls under my hand and does a few little chuffs. Yeah, I'm absolutely keeping you. The more I pay attention to a little cutie, the more I get lost in thinking about how I will be able to keep it around. Vance clears his throat to get my attention. All right, sorry, this is a tiger. The fuck is a tiger? I gestured down at the feline in my hands to answer his question. Right, where is it though? A wild animal. And the same people who held you had this tiger? Yeah, according to the files we grabbed, this little kittie's parents were taken when I was about 3 years ago. Both of their faces dropped as I mentioned when I was taken. Guys, it's fine. Oh, you sure? Yeah, I'm fine. I looked to Sahira for a bit of help. She seemed to understand quickly and speaks up. So you say you pulled some information? What did you get? Everything there was to take, I suppose. Have you had time to look through everything? Not yet. Most of the files not related to that location has been incredibly encrypted. Although I managed to decrypt some of the data related to that facility. It would seem that the facility was working on experimenting on rare specimens as well as selling them to the highest bidder. There are several transactions made at that location involving the sale of those creatures to some very high-profile individuals. Most of the stuff are pulled from the lab and encrypted, but he's going through it. However, he managed to determine the purpose of the lab. Apparently, the entire place is used to sell exotic animals. That explains the tiger. Yeah, you said you got the name of the scientist? Ramus. Thinks for a moment, then shakes her head. That doesn't ring a bell. Do you know what he looks like? No, I never saw him. It's just a bunch of red eyes. The only one I saw was a guy with horns, but, well, he is fine. People missing their heads don't tend to be fine. I'm sure he's okay. He could walk it off or whatever. The room goes silent, making things a bit awkward. I look back up at the two of them, only to be met with concerned looks from the both of them. My face forms a weird, nervous smile, followed by an equally nervous giggle. Look, this has been a long day. Is it okay if I... Sure, I'm sure the captain will want to speak to you later, but go relax somewhere. Thanks. I nod before walking out with the club still in my arms. I eventually walk myself up the stairs and pass by all of the bedrooms, fully intent on heading straight to my room. The hallway is surprisingly empty, although I suppose everyone is out right now, so it makes sense. When I get to the room, I place the cage on the floor and jump onto the bed with the cover in my hands. The bed is surprisingly comfy, like Vass's was. I'm unsure why I expected it to be stone hard, like back on the station. Cuddling up to the tiger causes the cute little fucker to make chuffing noises as he rolls. Rubs up against my chest and nibbles on my fingers. I keep calling it little fucker all the time. I'll have to make a mental note to be careful of that in the future. Don't want to lose an arm and a leg. You'll be okay. You'll be okay. The ambulance is almost here. The tears are rolling down my cheeks and dropping onto her bloody clothes. The blood is pooling out of her and covering my hands. Her wound is the only thing I can focus on, with the sound of echoing footsteps as just cutting over her pained groans. I push down on the wound to try and stop the bleeding, but it doesn't seem to be doing much good. I looked around again to check if the bastard was still there, but he ran after pulling the trigger. Coward. Her hand touches my shoulder. I'm so proud of you. Everything you are makes me proud of you. I love you so much, Noah. Mom, you will be alright without me. Take care of your father for me. Don't say that. You will be okay. I can hear the sirens. They're almost here. I looked back up to check for the ambulance while dragging her to the alley's edge. I forced myself to look down again when I feel her grip on my arm loosens. Mom? Mom? Fucking hell. Even more knocks on the door. I'm coming. I eventually get to the door and tap the panel to open it. As the door slides open, I'm met by the hulking Cylon looking worriedly down at me. Are you okay? Yeah. Should I not be? Well, I was coming to get you, and then right when I got to the door, I heard you saying something I couldn't really make out. You sounded a little panicked, so I got worried. And when you didn't answer after the first few knocks, oh, sorry, I fell asleep, I think. I didn't know I talked in my sleep, but I'm okay. He looks me square in the eye for a few moments later, a few months longer. His expression is almost unreadable until he raises his hands and touches my cheek. I'm stunned enough that I don't even think to back away as he wipes my face clean. After doing so, he pulls his hand away and sniffs it. Do your people normally shed water from their eyes when they're asleep? He holds my gaze for a few more moments. He turns me around when I don't answer and pushes me back into the room. Talk to me. Vance closes the door behind himself and leads me to the bed. It's nothing, I'm fine. So it's something. Tell me what's up. It's nothing, I promise. You sounded upset, and you were crying. That's not nothing. What's wrong, Noah? A sight escapes me. I had a dream about my mother. His expression softens. Oh, I suppose it has probably been a while since you saw her. It certainly has. I miss her so much. Vass sits beside me on the bed and places his arm around me. You will see her again, I know it. Somehow I doubt that. I'm sorry for what happened earlier. I wanted to thank you for what you did. For what? For saving my life, killing that guy, and helping me out. Without you, I would have probably died in there. For a few moments after I killed the man, I thought they were going to catch me again. I saw it happening, you know? I had visions of being dragged back to a place like that station and never seeing the light of day again. Being just another experiment again that will probably disappear soon enough. He was quiet for a few moments. I never should have taken you in there. It was fucking stupid of me to do that. He should have got kidnapped or worse. Well, he could have got kidnapped or worse. I could have been killed or sent off to a federal prison for breaking into a government building. I mean, fucking hell. They could have even traced it back to the crew. What if they came here and attacked everyone? We should probably warn the captain about that. Probably. I'm such an idiot for ever putting you in danger like that. Well, I was suggested it, so I suppose I'm just as much of an idiot. Not bad, though. Well, not all bad, though. You need to reconsider your definition of not bad. Well, we're both alive. We know who was experimenting on me. We saved the cub. I had all download all of the files on a server in my brain and then delete the originals. And I got this. I pulled out the cartridge that R told me to steal. And what exactly is that? A cartridge full of the latest in nanobot technology, according to R. Yeah, what? The latest in nanobot technology. Yeah, I'm sorry you will have to run that by me again. Why was the vet lab that was doing experiments on animals also doing work on experimental technology. I don't know. R is going through the files now. How long will it take? The files are very encrypted. It will take me some time to thoroughly decrypt and scan all the files and go through all of them, perhaps even a few days. At most a few days. An advanced AI like R needs a few days to decrypt those files. They must really be trying to hide something. An advanced AI like R needs a few days to decrypt those files. They must really be trying to hide something. I can name a few things they might be hiding. He chuckles for a few moments, but stops himself. I'm sorry, I shouldn't laugh at that. No, it's all right. It's kind of funny. We both go quiet for a few moments. How are you anyway? How's your wound? I'll live. I'm tougher than I look. Although I probably look pretty tough anyway, considering I'm twice your size. Wow, you're so full of shit. Hey, at least I got you to smile, right? Yeah, not bad, V. My nose twitches a little. I used to hate when my sister called me that. I guess. Want me to stop? No, it doesn't have the same effect when you say it. I almost hate that I like it. I will keep that in mind. Anyway, let's get something to eat. That sounds good to me. As we stand up, Vaz points to the cub that is currently chewing on my bed frame. It should probably come with us. If only to stop it from destroying this room. You're probably right. Also, the tiger's a girl. You think? I mean, it's a hard thing not to know, right? Yeah, I suppose. Throughout the entire conversation, the little feline stared at me while continuing to chew on my bed. After picking up the kitty, I joined Vaz, who's waiting for me at the door. All right, let's go. We make our way out of the room towards the bridge. I will say that it is normal to want to save others from a sad fate. So tell me, did you find anyone besides this Weymouth figure and the man you killed? No, well, nobody besides that tiger we took. And I suppose you will be keeping this tiger. If you would let me, then I'd love to. Sure, but it's your responsibility. Of course. All right, if that is all, is as all right, if that is all, then you can leave. Not going to scold us? There isn't much point. I'm sure Sahira will do that plenty if she hasn't already. Fair point. Is that all then? Actually, I pulled a cylinder out of my pocket and placed it on his desk. We all found this also. R copied all of the files in that lab and then deleted the originals. He looks a little shocked. Okay, one by one, tell me about the files. I can't really tell you much. R is going through them as best as he can, but it will probably take him a few days. Right, I want to be the first to know when he is done. Yes, sir. And this, what is it? He gestures to the cylinder. I believe it's one of the things they were working on. It's for nanobots, apparently. What is their purpose? My brows furrow a little in confusion. Are they for medical purposes or for some other purpose? Shit, I never thought to ask. There are two ways of telling. The first would be decrypting these files, and the second, scanning the nanobots directly. Well, that settles it. I pick up the cylinder and examine it for a moment. There's a button on the top, so I decide to press it. As I do, a little spike pops out of the other end. It seems to be a syringe of some kind. Well, here goes nothing. Wait. Noah. Both of their faces contort as I stab the needle into my arm and press the button again. As the needle pierces my skin, I feel a rush of something cold fill my veins. What the hell are you doing? Let the all scan them. The easiest way to do that was for them to be in my body. I take a few seconds for the vial to empty into me, after which I pull out the syringe and place it on the table. Cold. Are you okay? I think so, at least so far. Feels like ice running through me, though. A preliminary scan of the machine shows that they were intended for construction, although it seems they can be used to create most non-biological substances. Wait, so how do they work? Normally, an instructor nanobot would be needed to the rest. There doesn't seem to be one in this batch. Does that mean they don't work? No, they still work. There's just no way to give them any instructions. Correction, I believe that I may be able to act as an instructor instead. In place of, so wait, how will this work? Theoretically, you can think of what you want to make, and then I will instruct the nanobots to make it. Try out. Just remember, nothing biological. They were made for construction, not surgery. Right. Just think of something, yeah, sure. Because it's just that easy. Imagine precisely how you want it to look and what it is made out of you. Imagine precisely how you want it to look and what it is made out of. You need to be very specific. My left hand starts to feel cold again. I can feel it begin to move through my skin and into my palm. Just think of something, yeah, sure, because it's just that easy. Imagine precisely how you want it to look and what it is made out of. You need to be very specific. My left hand starts to feel cold again. I can feel it begin to move through my skin and into my palm. Before I know it, I'm holding a white ceramic swan. It's exactly the way I remember it. Wow, that's incredible. How did you do that? I just thought about what I wanted. I'll relate my instructions to the nanobots. What is it? It's a swan. It was my mother's favorite bird. I never saw the appeal myself. The captain gives me a look that I can't quite decipher. Anything more advanced than this, you will need to know exactly how it is made. For example, a complex weapon. Got it. I should probably get the doc to check on me, right? Make sure this isn't going to be bad for my health. I have already run the scans. These nanobots will not harm you. I guess. Wouldn't it have been a good idea before injecting them into yourself? Maybe, but you will never get anywhere if you are always sure. Sometimes you gotta take risks. I do my best to force a smile. I'm not sure if he believes me. That sounds like a good idea. Let's say he will check you out, and we can talk again later. All right, thank you for your time. He nods and I waste no time leaving the room. Yes, I'm. Fast says behind and starts talking to the captain, but I only catch the start of it before I'm out of earshot. I have to assume the doc is in her office, right? Unless she decided to go for a walk, but I doubt she'd leave the ship, especially not after earlier. I wonder if they bought my excuse to leave. I would have to talk to the captain eventually. I just can't look at him in the eyes, not after I put Vass in danger. Look, it doesn't feel right. Vass picks him up on the same mission my sister dies on. He has some all-powerful AI in his head, and he almost gets Vass killed today too, because he wants to raid some building by himself. Something's not right about him. What? I step back and hug the wall so I can't be seen by whoever is in the room to my left. I get it. You're upset, but you can't take it out on him. What happened to you with your sister was an accident, according to Vass. If it weren't for Noah, then they would all be dead. And from the sounds of it, what happened in that building was worth the cost. At least that's what Vass said. Doesn't that just make Catherine the lucky one? Then, That's not fair, little man. Not at all. You know what isn't fair? My sister's dead. And Noah got tortured for 3 years. He was kidnapped from his family. How do you think he feels, huh? One goes silent for a few moments as I listen to the door. Should I even be listening to this? But before I can make a decision by myself, an arm wraps itself around my neck and begins to guide me away. When I look up, Sahira has a finger to her beak as a sign that I should not say anything. It takes us a few moments to get into her office. Don't take that personally. Ron has always been emotional when it comes to his sister. He is right, though. It's my fault that Vass got hurt. If I had been a little faster, then maybe Catherine would still be here, too. Don't do that. And don't blame yourself for something you didn't know about. You didn't know she was in trouble. You didn't know you could save her. It still doesn't help at all. Still, but you shouldn't beat yourself up about it. So, something you want to tell me? I sigh and pull the empty syringe tube thing out of my pocket and show it to her. Right. I feel like there should be something in this. Did you find it empty or... Wait, did you take this? Are you on drugs? God knows, Sahira. Who do you think I am? What I injected into my body is much weirder than that. She looks at me in shock and puts her hands out as if to say, well, go on then. I'll spend the next few minutes explaining everything to her. She stays silent for the most part, but the face she is making is screaming judgment at me. I feel you're an idiot, perhaps a bigger one than Howard or Voss. Hey now, no need for such insults, okay? I did it for science. Why? Do you often jab needles with unknown substances into yourself? No, of course not. Maybe not always. My silly joke is followed by me breaking into laughter. Clearly I am my own target audience. Alright, get on the bench. Let's do some tests on you. She taps on her device a few times, which caused a little wad to pop out of the floor. It began to flash red and scan me. She looks confused. I don't see anything. Are you still looking for drugs? Obviously not. I just don't see anything. Are the nanobots that tiny? They also replicate, right? You should be filled with them by now, but I can't see them. I raised my hand and began making a little statue of her in the current pose she is in. Oh, fantastic. I'll keep that on my desk. She smiled and took it from me before putting it on her desk like she said. Okay, let me run a blood test to check if you don't have any blood poisoning from the mint. Okay, let me run a blood test to check if you don't have any blood poisoning from the metal, and we should be okay. I have to stop myself from recoiling when she pulls out the needle. I just stabbed myself with one without fear, but something about seeing someone else holding a needle and coming towards me fills me with dread. Sure, how quickly will you know? This should be about an hour. Great, great. I do so do I get the lecture now? Do you want me to lecture you? No, not really. But the captain said you would, which is why he didn't do it. Oh well, in that case, as he takes a deep breath to begin ranting at me, the doors to the med bay open to allow Vass and Horrocks to enter. Hey, little man, I heard you injected yourself with dangerous stuff. Wow, words travel fast, huh? I flashed a quick look at the scion. What? I didn't know your last decisions were supposed to be a secret. So you kiss and tell, huh? Never. He winks at me. Uh-huh. Not a word from you, Doc. Shouldn't you be running a blood test or something? Sahiro laughed and came close to my ear. It's okay. I won't say anything about this morning. Vass's ears twitch and his brows furrow, which tells me he might have just heard what she said. Okay, so stupid decisions aside, what now? Blood test, Harlock. Please try to follow along. Yeah, I got that part. What's next for Noah? I mean, what do you want to do? Not sure. I don't really know what options I have. Well, this team does have a habit of picking up strays. If you are staying here for your safety, then you might as well learn to defend yourself, no? Sure. It's been a while since I've been in the ring. Hawk lights up pretty quickly. Sure. How about me and you do some training tomorrow? After the doc gives you the all good. Sounds good to me. Great. Can't wait to see Hawk lying in this med bay tomorrow after Nora wipes the floor with him. You have a lot of faith in me. I've seen how much you can bench. Wait, what? You think he can beat me? Found out tomorrow. You know what? Whatever. He raises his hand at the Cylon and walks out the door. Get some rest, Noah. I'll work you pretty hard tomorrow. Uh-huh. We still recorded, if only to play it back to him while we mock and laugh. I promise I won't break him too bad. They both chuckle and Sahiro turns to tend to something. All right, unless you two want to have something, you can go. I'll find you later. Thanks, Doc. Vass nods his head over to the door and leaves, obviously wanting me to follow. Great. I'm sure this is going to be a wonderful and totally embarrassing conversation. We walk a little down the hallway into a more secluded section of the cell. So, I guess you heard. Yeah. What was he talking about? Did I do something wrong? No, God, no. It wasn't your fault. At least I don't think so. He looks confused. Look, we were drunk yesterday. I woke up this morning. Underneath you. The fur around his cheeks almost gets completely red. What? Noah. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. Vass stopped. Nothing happened between us. He rubs his neck nervously. I suppose the strong scent of yours I could smell myself in my bed this morning wasn't just from the day before. It was because just before that you were in bed with me. Yeah, I crawled out of your bed and snuck out about an hour before you woke up. He chuckles a little. So, You are the kind to leave before the others wake up. I wouldn't know, but no. I wouldn't say I am. I just didn't want to make things awkward between us. I wouldn't know, but no. I wouldn't say I am. I just didn't want to make things awkward between us. You will have to try harder than that, I promise. Thanks, V. So, you're going to be there to watch me school Hurricane in the Ring? School him, There are a lot of things you don't know about me, V. Care to share? I wouldn't want to ruin the surprise. You see, I'll smile before I start walking away. By the way, yeah? Don't beat yourself up for what happened earlier in the vets. I mean, you did say the right thing. Thank you. I ended up managing to find something for the kitty to eat. Hawk found me some spare fish. He said that they were his favorites, but that he would spare some for such a cutie little fucker. After that, Sahira found me and gave me all the good news for the blood test. She wanted to keep an eye on me over the next few days just in case, but she didn't think there would be any problems. I found myself being drawn to the viewing area Vass showed me yesterday. We were still dark in this parking lot for spaceships, but the view of the city from here is still pretty good. Not sure how long I ended up staying there, just looking out the window at all the flashing lights before I heard the footsteps coming up the ladder behind me that pulled me from my trance. Hey, didn't know you would be up here. Guess Vass showed you the best stop in the house. Yeah, best spot for sure. Actually, he didn't show me at all. I found him up here the other day. There's a great view now and a better view up here. Sure is. He sighs and sits down at the end of the couch. I'm sorry for what I said before. I know you heard it. I heard your footsteps. He points to his big floppy ears. Ears like that have to be good for something, right? He laughs a little and taps me on the shoulder. It wasn't your fault. I know it wasn't, but I get it. Losing someone that close to you, keep to you. I get it. Losing someone that close to you cuts deep. At least you have people around you to help you grieve. If you ever need anyone to talk to, I'm here to listen. Even if I'm not the one you might want to talk to. You're fine, I promise. So, are we taking bets on who wins the fight tomorrow? We're betting now? Also, how can nobody keep their mouth shut on this sip? Rooting for the underdog? Sure, something like that. Us little guys gotta stick together, right? Tell me about it. Everyone in this galaxy seems to be fucking massive. Most of them are for some god's forsaken reason. You know, most species have their own version of dwarfism. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. You think? No. Well, my species doesn't. At least not anymore. We're evolving to it because if the gods exist, they're a sick asshole with a horrible sense of humor. Well, that is horrible. Tell me about it. I know you're only a little taller than me, but I imagine you're probably on the shorter end for your species. Yeah, something like that. We have a pretty wide range, but I'm on the shorter end. Lucky you, I'm considered tall. I can't stop myself from laughing which gets me a jab in the shoulder from Rowan. 6 sucks. I mean, can you imagine your species being one of the smallest out there and being herbivores? We are one of the only species that aren't carnivores or didn't evolve into being omnivores. That's a little odd, don't you think? Yeah, I use the term evolve loosely. It's more like generic tampering, but I never really cared enough about it to read a history book. I'll shoot him a look that just says, really? Look, it's really ancient history, okay? Like a few thousand years by now. Whatever you say. Anyway, you should get some sleep. I don't think Howard is going to take it easy on you just because you are malnourished. He was hoping he would. I'm sure I'll be fine. Maybe a little rusty, though. Yeah? I'll start making my way to a ladder. Yeah, my dad taught me a lot for a few years. Well, before I was kidnapped. Oh, neat. Hopefully you can kick Hurricks fast and no promises. Right, Norrin? No promises. Night, Rowan. Night. To be continued. Well, right at the end there, right after Noah left, Rowan, his ears kind of drooped. He looked kind of sad at the end there. I don't know what that might mean. But he did decide to like bury the hatchet with the MC. I mean with Noah, because he throughout the time we see him, what little bit of time we see him, he's been kind of a little cautious with Noah for some reason. I guess I don't know. I guess that's just how he is with strangers. Like with him, you kind of have to. I mean, if you're not, you kind of have to get to know him more for him to really get close to you. But I am happy that he at least is talking to Noah now. You know, trying to like get to know him, and just. I'm happy he did apologize to Noah for what he said. Him blaming Noah for Vass almost getting killed out there. So it is kind of is his fault, to be honest. I mean, he suggested going there. A government building, no less. So he's not entirely wrong about it being Noah's fault, but I mean, he's not entirely wrong, but I also kind of didn't like it that he was kind of mad with the MC, because he was kind of mad with Noah because he had a cautious. He was pretty cautious with him the whole time, and after them being in the city, and after Noah and Vass being in the city, almost getting killed, it was easier for him to get angry with Noah because he just kind of cautious with Noah. He's been you kind of a little cautious or slightly suspicious of somebody, and then when they do something that you think validates your suspicion, your cautiousness, you lash out at that person, or you may not lash out at that person, but you may lash out at that person by venting to somebody else. You know, by when he talked to the captain about what's the captain? I think it was the captain he was talking to. Like when he talked to the captain about Noah having some kind of powers and then getting Vast almost killed. Yeah, it kind of, he felt like his caution of Noah was valid. But again, he did decide to apologize. He knew Noah was listening in. Well, he wasn't really listening in, kind of, but he was kind of like leaving, and then, he was on his way out, and he was still hearing the conversation while he was leaving. He caught the tail end of it when Rowan blamed him for Vast's condition. So it seems as though Rowan may have buried the hatchet with Noah, I guess. But again, that sour look, that sad look he had at the end there, after his conversation with him, don't know what that means. Maybe he's still kind of guilty about blaming Noah, or if it's something else, he's still depressed over his sister, or I don't know. It's a lot of things. But anyway, so he talked about his species and that his species are small, and that he's actually really tall for his species. So I do like that there's a character here that is smaller than the human. Kind of don't like it when everybody's a giant and the human is the smallest person around. I mean, kind of like to balance things out, Yeah, you got some giants, but you also got some species smaller than you. So I'm happy about that with Rowan, and I also liked it when he said that humans come in different sizes, because I thought he might have said, well, all humans are tiny. But I liked what he said. People like it when he said that humans come in different sizes, because that is largely true. Though I think the vast majority of humans are under 6 feet tall, but you do got some humans. We got more and more humans now that are well over 6 feet tall, and some even over 7 feet. And Rowan also said that most species are carnivores, and there are not a lot of omnivores left, and his species are rare because they are still herbivores. So this is just an assumption, but Vast's species, he's kind of like a wolf and some other kind of species, I guess. So maybe he's like a carnivore. Or maybe, I think he is a carnivore. I think he said something about him being a carnivore before, or I don't know. But I think he's a carnivore, and in the Sark, he's probably a carnivore too, and the captain, and they're based on carnivore species. But again, I could be wrong about some of them. And throughout this update, we saw flashbacks of him, of Noah and his father. His father training him to be a fighter. I mean, I think Noah did say something about him being in the ring before. So his father would make him fight. They would train through combat, so Noah would be able to defend himself. So I guess his father was kind of like, kind of tough, kind of like a fighter himself. In a day, probably. His father was probably a fighter. And something happened to his mother. And she was injured, and she was about to die, and she said goodbye to Noah, and that he was able to live without her, and Noah didn't want her to die. So I think later on when he talked to Vass about it, he basically said that he hasn't been able to see his mother. So he said it like she's not, like she said like there's a possibility that his mother's not dead. I mean, because if his mother was dead, he would have just said it. My mother's dead. So either she doesn't know, he probably didn't know his mother died, or maybe she didn't die. I don't know, but anyway. So yeah, the doctor wasn't happy about what Noah and Vass did, and it's even thought that maybe Noah was even more reckless than Vass and the Sark. So hopefully Noah won't be so reckless going ahead, But again, he did inject some sealants into himself without the doctor's permission. He just did it so he could help R in his information about nanobots. So he tends to be somebody who's kind of like just kind of a little reckless and just goes into doing things without really thinking the consequences. I mean, he's kind of like another of these impulsive characters, these impulsive main characters. So it looks like he and Sark, whose name I keep forgetting, they'll be in a fight tomorrow. So I wonder who's gonna win. I like that this MC Noah is somebody who can stand up to himself and fight creatures bigger than himself. I mean, I like that this is an MC that has benefits. He has things about him that makes him better than the bigger species because usually a lot of furry VNs, a lot of furry VNs, humans are like the MCs, especially human MCs, are like these inferior people who can't really do anything, and they have no skills and no advantage at all compared to the bigger, stronger anthros. So I like that this MC here has abilities and can defend himself. I mean, he's really strong. But again, it's with the nanobots to help him out. But again, he did have a lot of training with his dad in the past, so that also helps. So it does have some knowledge of combat, so that may work against the Sark. I wonder what they're gonna look like. Are they gonna fight in their regular clothes, and they're gonna fight like in trunks, just wearing some, being half naked, fighting each other. I wonder. Anyway, so this was a big update, mainly because the MC Noah, he was able to get out of the ship and explore an alien world, something that humans haven't been able to do. He might be the first one to ever do that. unless, there could be some other humans that have been kidnapped. There's also that possibility, but he may be the first one to ever explore an alien world. So that was a big chance for him to explore the city, even if it wasn't completely even if it wasn't completely wise of him to do so. But I think if he and Vass just stick to exploring the city and not going into that place, probably would have been fine. But again, there was also that guy towards, like after the whole situation, there was they were walking back to the ship, and there was this frog or amphibian looking guy who tried to snatch the human up. So there's always that too. So alright, so it was good to see this update. I enjoyed the story. I like the MC because he's willing to do things for himself, and he's more capable of doing things. He's not entirely inferior. He does have some things that he surpasses some of the other characters in. And what's made this different is that Vass, the big giant 8-foot tall furry, Anthro, he ends up getting beat up, basically. Usually they're very capable. They always, hold their own or beat up characters. But in this story here, Vass, he ends up being the one getting beaten up. So it was kind of shocking to me. I thought he would have been more capable, but I guess if there's more people about his size in the universe, and I guess he's not really that big, really, because that amphibian that they ran into, he was 2 feet taller than Noah, and I guess he's 5 foot something, 5'8" or 9. I'm just assuming his height. Then that amphibian was about close to Vass's height. So I don't necessarily think Vass is really big when you compare him to the rest of the people on this planet as well as the galaxy, because Rowan said that most of the species are big. So Vass is probably not truly big, but he's just normal, and that he's merely huge when it comes to Noah's mind. So anyway, that's all for now. When the next update of Specimen 29 comes out, I'll record it right away. It'll probably come out like sometime in spring, the next update. So this was a pretty big update because of the length, as well as Noah being able to get out of the ship and explore the city and what an alien city is really like. So thank you all very much for watching. Goodbye.